The last two problems in this section involve finding average value. The average value formula is written at the top here. If I'm looking on the interval from a to b to find the average value of f of x, I do 1 over b minus a as the coefficient out front, the integral from a to b of f of x dx. For these problems, we're going to be asked first to calculate this integral and find what the average value of the function is within the interval, and then second, to find any values of x in the interval where f of x equals its average. For the second part, I'm going to focus on using the graphing calculator, so hopefully you have one of those handy. I would say that if you don't have the ability to use a graphing calculator for some of these, you probably want to research some tools on the internet that would be available to you to do the same types of things. If you're really struggling with that part of it, please email me or contact me during the conferences, and I'll try and walk you through it. So where we're going to begin is by setting up this integral. 1 over b minus a, in this case b is going to be 3, a is going to be negative 3, so it becomes 1 over b, 3, minus a, negative 3. The integral from a to b, negative 3 to 3, of f of x, 9 minus x squared, dx. On the outside, 3 minus a negative 3 is really 3 plus 3, so this becomes 1/6. On the inside, when I integrate 9, I get 9x. When I integrate negative x to the second, I get negative x cubed over 3. This is all being evaluated from negative 3 to 3. So my next step, I'm going to plug in with the 1/6 still out front. 3, when I plug in 3, I get 9 times 3. Then I'm going to subtract from that. When I plug in 3, I get 3 cubed over 3. From this, I need to subtract when I plug in the negative 3. So this becomes 9 times negative 3 minus, when I plug in the negative 3 cubed over 3. And all of this is still being multiplied by 1/6. It then becomes 1/6 out front. 9 times 3 is 27. 3 cubed is 27, divided by 3 is 9. So this is 27 minus 9, which gives me 18. I'm subtracting from that. 9 times a negative 3 is negative 27. Negative 3 cubed still gives me a negative 27, but then this negative makes it into a positive 27 thirds, so it becomes a positive 9. Negative 27 and a positive 9 give me negative 18. So this becomes 1/6, 18 minus a negative 18, which is really 18 plus 18, or 36. 1/6 times 36, which is how I get my final answer of 6. The average value of 9 minus x squared between negative 3 and 3 is 6. It now asks me to find all values of x in the interval for which f of x equals its average. I'm going to show this two ways. So the first way I'm going to show it is by setting this up as 6 for my f of x equals the function 9 minus x squared. If I can just solve this equation, that's going to tell me every answer that's possible. So I'm going to take the x squared to this side to make it positive. I'm going to take minus 6 over here and get 9 minus 6 is 3. My final answer is then going to be x equals plus or minus the root of 3. These are the two values in the interval. If they wanted me to find it to certain decimal places, I put in my calculator's root of 3 and write out what the decimal is. So realistically, if this was a Cengage problem, I'd put it in and say that the root of 3 is plus or minus 1.732.